Hi everyone, it's Michelle Carlisle again with another community connection on the Wentzville Park Bench. I am here with James, and he is the owner, proprietor,
All of the above?
all of the above, the brains behind, and the brawn, I guess, behind Thompson Farm Soups and Dips. But it's interesting because your last name isn't Thompson, so where did Thompson Farms
That is true.
come from?
We do have a lot of folks call us the Thompsons, and we just kind of smile and nod. The company's been around more than 30 years. The original Thompsons owned the other thing people say is, I say, well, we're not the Thompsons and we don't own a farm. The original Thompsons did have a farm, and it was a couple, and they were real sweet folks, and I met them 20 years ago now. And I had a very large family, I had 10 kids, and we kind of found their product and thought, oh, this is good. And then we met them, and they were really sweet folks. And so we started having soup almost every Sunday for lunch. We'd put it on in the morning before we went to church. We'd go to church, come home. If we came home right after church, we'd have it for lunch. If we went out with friends, we'd leave it and have it for dinner. And it became kind of a tradition for us. And then she got sick, and within a very short period of time, she passed away. And he was in his 80s and had Parkinson's. And so he was just going to close up shop, and we were like, where's our soup going?
Oh no.
And so my wife and I had been in restaurants for years ago, before we started a family and stuff. And so we thought we could just keep this thing going. And so I made him an offer one day, and I bought it all, lock, stock, and barrel. And
Wow.
people love their product, so we kept the name and everything, and just been going crazy ever since.
It's funny, brand recognition, even on a small family-owned business, is a big deal.
Oh yeah, it really is. One of the first events we did, where we go to craft shows and stuff, the company had been gone for about a year, and two of my adult sons went and did the event for us, because we were at another one in another place, and my son called me and goes, Dad, this isn't a company, this is a cult. He said, there are people lined up waiting to get product, calling their friends saying, hey, Thompson Farm Soups is back, Thompson Farm Soups is back. And he said, so it was pretty cool to see the following that they had, because they had such good product and they were neat folks.
That is awesome. I know that you've done some other things in your life.
Sure.
And they may or may not have been related to soup. What drives you and motivates you to keep this going? Is it?
Yeah, it's a lot of things. You know, I was in restaurants for many years, and I realized real quickly that while it was fun and it was exciting and I liked the craziness of it, it's also a young person's game, because those are some long hours and brutal hours and all the staffing issues. And I can't even imagine folks today having to staff a restaurant, which is probably why most of them have signs on their doors saying no dining, you know.
Right, or help wanted.
Yeah, so when I got out of that, I went to work in a retail environment for many years. So I kind of know the food part of it, and I know the retail side of the stores and things like that. And for 20 years, I worked in the retail world. And then I started an electrical company, because, you know, it just seemed like a logical step.
Right.
You know, restaurateur, retail operator, be an electrician. But I did
Let's
that.
go ahead and add soup.
Yeah. And that's how I met Vern and Linda, actually, the Thompsons. I met them through a service call. And I did the same thing you did. I walked in and I went, what is that delicious smell? And then they told me, oh, we make soup. And they kind of showed me the whole thing. So, and then when they passed away, we thought, you know what? We have a bunch of kids. They were all that high school, early high school, college age. And I thought, we got enough help. We could keep this thing going.
Oh, yeah.
And what I thought was just going to be a little side kind of hobby, family business thing. And the kids can kind of see, you know, firsthand entrepreneurship and running your own small business.
It's a great lesson.
has really pretty blossomed into a big, giant thing that keeps a lot of us busy.
So how many of the kids are actually working for the company?
All of them have at one time or another. Now, a lot of them now
have been used as free labor at some point.
Oh no, none of them are free. I don't know whose kids you had, but I didn't have free kids. So usually I had to make it really, really worthwhile to motivate them, especially on those weekend events, you know. But yeah, all of them have at different times. You know, we laugh because our last one just moved out of their house. We had 10 kids in our house for years, and the last one just moved out last year, and we're like, I can't believe these kids have ditched us. You know, you raise them up, and then what do? They turn on you and move and get married.
I mean, they get
married and have
productive members of society.
I know. But so we're down to about half of them work for us part-time, doing events, because we do a lot of events and travel and do shows in cool downtown areas all over the Midwest. One of my older sons works full-time for us, so he kind of runs this place. and keeps up with production and everything. And then we have 5 or 6 other folks that work here at our soup facility, making production and keeping it all going. And then we have about 6 or 7 that do events for us.
Wow.
And we kind of just put out a calendar and say, hey, we're going to Ohio, September this.
Sign up.
Who wants to go for that weekend? And we just get volunteers. And they come.
Anybody got family or friends they want to go see after the show?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I have friends now that tell me, why don't you just retire? And I'm like, well, what would I do if I retired? Let me think. I could travel around, see some cool towns, spend time with my family. Oh, wait, I do that now.
And I get paid.
And we get paid. So it's a pretty good gig all in all.
I would say so. That's enviable to be able to do something that you really enjoy. And it's fun.
Yeah. And we pick our places to go. So it's like, last couple of years ago, we found a festival in Wisconsin at Cranberry Festival. So they actually have cranberry bogs there, and they had the Ocean Spray dudes standing in the bogs. They had those 2 guys there from the commercials. So we got to see how they grow cranberries. Yeah, we saw how they grow cranberries and all that fun stuff. And so we just get to see really cool parts of the world, at least the Midwest part of the world.
That's a lot of fun.
So yeah, it is fun.
Travel,
it's a lot of work.
Travel always helps.
Yeah.
How are, other than being homemade and home recipes,
Sure.
how are Thompson Farm soups and dips unique? What makes them extra special?
A lot of ways. One, we don't put anything weird. If you look at our ingredients, you can pronounce all of them because most of our ingredients are like carrots, and celery, and onions.
Okay, so those are less than 12-letter words.
Yeah. And they're all low or no sodium, all our soups, and no MSG in any of our products. And so they're just good products. They're easy to understand. In fact, I've seen competitors or even the big red soup guy out there, the Campbell's guy.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And I've looked at it, I thought, well, that looks like an interesting flavor. And I spin it around, and I'm like, well, that doesn't help me because I don't know what all that is to make it taste like that.
Right.
So most of our recipes we find from either friends, family, or we just kind of get a wild hair and decide, hey, let's try to make a gumbo. That sounds like a good soup. So,
and that is one of the newer ones.
It is one of the newer ones. And it's delicious too. A little spicy, but it's really good.
Everybody's got to have a little spice in their life, right?
Absolutely.
Try something new.
Yeah. So we just kind of experiment. We have a process where we kind of do a friends and family, we have all
guinea pigs.
Have them be the guinea pigs the first 8 or 10 tries around the recipe. And then we kind of narrow it down. Oh, I like that one. It's too salty, not salty enough, too much of this, too much of that. And we kind of get down to 3 versions. And then once a year we have an open house. We skipped this year because of a family crisis, but we have an open house here, and it's the only time of the year you can try all 21 of our soups and all of our dips, and you can give us feedback on whatever new one we're versioning. So like on the gumbo, we got down to 3 versions of gumbo, and everybody came out and voted on A, B, or C which one they liked the best. And then whichever one the crowd said was the best one, that's the one we used as our recipe and rolled it out for the next year.
What could you have for dinner if you weren't making it yourself from scratch that you could say, I had a hand in picking that out?
So yeah.
That's pretty nifty.
Yeah. And they only take maybe 15 minutes of your work. The rest of it just sits on the stove rolling.
Right.
Or in a crock pot rolling. And then we have dinner ready to go.
And it smells great.
Smells great.
Yeah.
And it's good for you.
Even better. What kind of challenges do you have in running a small business like this that's a lot bigger than you originally thought it would be?
Space is a big deal. Originally we thought we moved from our original founders facility that they used to our own. We thought, oh, this is pretty big. It's 1,200 square feet. We got plenty of room. Way more than we had. We thinking, oh, look at all the space. And that after a year and a half, we were exploding. And so then my son brought this property. He actually looked for property that would have an outbuilding on it with the intent of being, my landlord, because, that's what my son wants, is more of my money.
Right.
And so he found this piece of property. This was just a metal building with dirt floors. There was nothing here. And so we came in.
A little bit nicer now.
Yeah, it's a little nicer. It's not mud, so we're ahead.
It's not. It's much nicer.
And so we moved in here, and this was, and again, we thought, oh, this is 5 to 10 years space-wise, because it's twice as big as our old property. And the other thing was, our old property was a house originally. Now we had gutted it and floors, but there's still all the dividing walls. Right. So it was like there was a pot sink room, and there was a dry storage over there, and
because that's easy functionality, right?
Yeah. So if you needed a box, you go back to the second bedroom off the first bedroom, and it was like Yeah, so this is just big wide open spaces back here for production stuff. So this was like, oh, we got plenty of room, 5 years, we'll be fine. And as you can see, 2020, we dedicated it, and then we had that little pandemic thing come along, and yet here we are in 22, and we're exploding, ready to build again.
Need another building.
We're going to build on this fall. So that's a challenge. The people are challenged, even though it's all family and friends. We always say we won't hire anybody to work here that we don't want to spend time with. So
it's a novel idea.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Promotes a much more cohesive working environment.
Yeah, and most of them are either our neighbors or folks we go to church with, or a lot of folks that we've met at other like craft events and shows and things. People that already do that and have decided either they're getting too old, they can't handle the whole process, but they love doing parts of it, and so they've come to work for us, and we do things. But that's still a challenge. You know, you got to find enough people at the right times and keep them busy enough. And then supply chain, as of late, has been a little bit of an issue. Just trying to make sure that we can have the packaging here at the same time we have the vegetables here, at the same time we have the people here.
Everything at the same time helps.
Yeah, it's hard to make stuff if you can make it, but you don't have any bags to put them in.
Right. I mean, you can make a whole lot of it, but what do you do with it then?
Yeah, it's a challenge. But otherwise, it's been great. I mean, even through 2020, we thought, our company really stands kind of on 3 legs. We do fairs and festivals all over the Midwest. We do 50 to 60 of those a year. Then when we're there, we try to find a local mom and pop store to carry our products, so that when we leave an area, when we leave Branson, after being at Silver City for a few weeks, we try to find a store there, so when our customers buy it, then they can still get it somewhere local.
Right, and you're then supporting local business wherever you go.
Yeah. And then we do the internet too. So, we still fill orders from people that live far away. They've bought our product once, or they lived in St. Louis and they moved to South Dakota and they still want to buy our soup.
Helsinki, wherever.
Wherever. So we've always had those 3 legs, and 2020 we kind of kicked the leg out and said no fairs, no festivals. And going into it, we're a little worried, but to be honest, it turned out great. Our stores all, everybody wanted to buy local. The big chains couldn't get stuff, but a lot of the local folks that had local suppliers could still keep their products in stock. So we had a great 2020. We were very blessed.
Good.
So yeah,
it's nice to hear a success story that came out of that year.
Yep, we learned a lot. We pivoted a lot, but we did good.
So other than maybe getting a larger building, what are some of the goals that you have for this year? You going to get back into the craft fairs?
Oh yeah, we've already. Yeah, actually, the end of last year, they kind of all started to come back online.
Okay.
So this past weekend, we did the Working Room Survival Show in St. Charles, and that was a lot of fun, and a lot of folks came out and everything. So I think we're back to 100% booked for this year.
All right. So 50 or 60.
Yep. So we'll be 50 or 60.
How long does that mean that you're on the road for the year? I mean, that's a lot of trips.
Yeah, and January and February, to be honest, are more quiet. So there's only a few in January and February. So it's really not like, oh, that's 1 a week. No, it's more like that's 2 a week for the second half of the year.
Whew.
And then almost 1 a week the rest of the year. And then we do the Lake St. Louis Farmers Market too, most weekends, through the spring and summer. So so we're on the road, or we're at an event probably 40 weekends a year.
Wow. So again, if you like traveling, make friends with these guys and work for them.
That's right. That's not to like. You go hang out in Branson, or you go see a show at night after your show's over, or you go.
And it always smells good.
That's right. And you got plenty to eat. Never run out of food.
Well, guys, I hope you've really enjoyed talking with James, because I think he's an amazing guy. He's got an amazing business with a wonderful story, and if you need, like you said, some survival pieces. Soups and dips, when they come in dry form, store for a long time, and they're so easy. Give them a call, give them a visit, stop by, grab some at the next craft fair or trade show that you go and you see them.
Or lots of cool mom and pop stores.
Yep.
We're at LB's in Wentzville, we're at Elderberry Place in O'Fallon, we're at Benino's one in Cottleville, and Benino's in Flint Hill. So
there you go.
Lots of fun mom and pop places.
So you can shop local and shop local.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope you have a wonderful time this year with back to your schedule.
We're looking forward to it. Being busier than ever.
And getting that new building.
I know, that'd be fun. Come back and see it next year.
There you go. I'm coming back to vote on your next new
Oh, yeah.
item. Yeah.
It's always the day before the Super Bowl. It's Soup Bowl Saturday.
Gotcha.
The day before the Super Bowl every year.
I'm in 2023. I'm there.
Okay. We'll look for you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.